take you fishing, honey. You're gonna love it. Gonna get up before the sun and rise above us. Got a bamboo pole and a leaky boat. It ain't much.
John Kruse welcoming you back to Northwestern Outdoors Radio on this Fish Camp edition. We're broadcasting from the Columbia River just below John Day Dam. I'm fishing with the Walleye Warriors, Greg Siebert and Casey Hougak. Casey, Greg, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking us fishing today.
Hey, that's not a problem, John. Just glad we could get out here on a nice day where the wind's down a little bit for us and produce a few walleye for you.
Well, you guys certainly have produced quite a few walleye for us, and you guys really know what you're doing. You're both under 30 years old, but you're making a name for yourself on the Columbia River walleye circuit. You've been in quite a few tournaments this year, and you have really got this dialed in. You're actually making some of your own lures. You're pro staffing for Eagle Claw, and I want to talk a little bit about walleye fishing with you guys today. Casey, how many fish have we got in the boat so far?
We have 8, John, and they're really nice fish. Biggest one's about 3 pounds, but all in all, they're looking good, and we're keeping them coming.
You know, a lot of people will tell you you can't catch walleye in September because there's so many shad, so many bait fish, but you're proving people wrong today. How big do the walleye get here on the Columbia River this time of year? And are we limited to just the John Day pool, or can you fish all up and down the Columbia and have success?
John, we have a world-class fishing industry here as far as the walleye go. The next world record walleye is going to come out of this river, and believe it or not, it could be right here in the John Day pool is where we're at.
Okay, well, what I want to do, folks, is go ahead and kind of walk you through our day here, because it's been a really interesting one. Not only have we had success on the water catching walleye, smallmouth bass, and even a sturgeon, believe it or not, but we've done some interesting things. And these guys, the Walleye Warriors, have got some interesting products as well that have helped us out. Now, Greg, why don't you talk to us first off about the soap we put on our hands to start the day. What is the soap, and why were we using it?
John, this soap is called Fisherman's Eco Soap. The big thing right off the bat is it's blended from extracts of plants, therefore making it readily biodegradable for the environment. There's no human health hazard with this stuff. It's just a safe way to go. Some of your other household soaps contain the dioxides, chlorines, and, there's a fish.
There is a fish indeed, so we're going to take a break from this soap. But I'll tell you what, the main reason we're using it, the Fisherman's Eco Soap, is because it eliminates human oil and scent, and that's really important stuff. Now, the fish got away, and that's okay, but there's plenty more that are going to come here. Greg, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about this soap. Why is it so important to remove human scent when you're fishing?
Well, as we know, the salmon steelhead have really good sniffers on them. And the walleye do too. We have improved our bite using the Fisherman's Eco Soap here over the last year. And we hope other people too use it and have success like we have had with it. Another big thing is you don't need water with it.
I noticed that. You just kind of wipe it right into your hands, and it also operates as kind of a moisturizer too, and your hands can get really dry out here on the water. So you've got this Fisherman's Eco Soap, and we've been using these jigs. And I'm used to, I've jigged for walleye before, but you've got these kind of unique jigs, and you've got stinger hooks on them too. Tell us about these strike jigs, something else that you guys have come up with.
Yes, John, these jigs have a perma-scent, is what we call it. It's a coated scent. It hardens over the lure, and it just holds a nice natural smell to them. Anise base, crawfish, a little bit in there. Basically, just put them down there, and the fish will love them.
What size jigs do you have, and why don't you describe the shape of these jig heads to our listeners as well?
They have a fish-headed look to them. 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, whatever you choose. We all go up to 1 ounce if you're fishing a little bit heavier water.
And you've got plenty of colors, too. We've got kind of a lime color that you're using right now that's been catching fish. We've got chartreuse, we've got white, we've got orange, whole bunch of different colors you can choose from. The stinger hooks, that's something a little bit different. How did you guys come up with that idea to use stinger hooks on your jigs?
Well, first off, with our jig heads, we use Eagle Claw laser sharp hooks, and we went to them, and they have a great octopus for our stinger hooks. It's a trocar hook, and they're doing very well for us.
And basically, folks, all you do, you're not hooking a plastic grub on these jigs. You're actually putting a live night crawler. And I'll tell you what, with 8 fish in the boat today, on a day where people usually would say you don't have a chance of getting a walleye, these jigs are working. Now, something else that you've got besides these Perma-Strike jigs and the Fisherman's Eco Soap, I'll tell you what, these two, they're a couple of wily e-coyotes. They're coming up with all sorts of stuff. You've got some special blade baits too, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We call them Perma-Strike Quake blade baits. They also utilize the Eagle Claw Laser Sharp short shank number 4 treble hooks on them. The reason we went with the short shank was to keep it from rolling over the line. There's other blade baits on the market, and when you get in the current and stuff, you'll have them roll over if you don't have that short shank hook, and the hook will actually get over the line. And this helps prevent it a little bit using those laser sharp short shanks. And then the other unique thing about these blade baits is they're just over 3/4 of an ounce, but yet they keep the body frame of a 1/2 ounce blade bait, making it easier for the fish to inhale, especially these walleye out here that we're picking up right now.
Really good stuff. Again, this is John Kruse, Northwestern Outdoors Radio, broadcasting our Fish Camp edition from the Columbia River with the Walleye Warriors. We've been catching walleye today. And Casey, what I want to talk to you about next is some of the tactics we're using today. And the first thing I want to talk about is we are really using some light tackle, which is going to surprise a lot of people out there who are used to using like 12, 15, 20-pound test for walleye. How light are we going today?
We have 6-pound test on. Allows the current not to carry your jig head or blade bait down. Holds the bottom very well.
And you explained this to me earlier. I was really taken by this, and I see how well it works now. When you use that heavier diameter line, it basically takes your jig away from the rod, away from the boat. It makes it more difficult to have that vertical presentation that you want to have to detect those bites. And that's why this light line, the 6-pound test, works so well.
Yes, it does, John.
Something else you've proved today, Casey, is again, people are going to be scared of using 6-pound tests for walleye, but I mean, you just pulled in a 3-foot sturgeon a little while ago on 6-pound test. It's really all in terms of how you've got your reel set and how you fight the fish, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct, John. And you've witnessed it yourself. You're out here in the boat enjoying this fishing journey with us, and we appreciate you being out here.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. Again, walleyewarriors.com is a website you want to go to find out more about these two great tournament anglers and the products they have, Fisherman's Eco Soap, the Perma-Strike Jig, and their blade bait too. Now, before we go, Greg, I'm going to ask you for a couple tips for some of our anglers out there. We're looking at October here. If people are going to go fish the Columbia or even the Willamette, what advice are you going to give them in terms of how deep to fish and some tactics to use to get walleye in the boat?
Well, right now, down here below the John Day Dam, the water flow is, of course, down in the waters at its summertime lows. You're going to want to target them in a little bit of current. The fish like the little bit of extra oxygen, going through their gills. Also, we have shad fry in the river here below the dam right now, and those walleye are after those this time of year, along with the smallmouth and many other of the predator fish out here. So we're just trying to imitate these shad fry, whether it's white jig heads or silver jig heads, blade baits that are pink or silver. Pretty much match the hatch, and you're going to catch walleye.
And one other thing I think we ought to note is something we've done is we started shallow, and as the sun has gone up and the day has progressed, we've kind of gotten deeper, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Those fish will come up on the flats, 10 to 15 feet of water at night and really pick off the bait fish. As the day moves on, they are kind of seek shelter for the most part, kind of like we would out of the sun, and they'll move down into the deeper water until they're ready to feed again. Then they'll come back up on those flats, and we've been working an edge all day just off the flats to the deeper water, and we're kind of just intercepting them as they move back and forth.
Well, Greg, Casey, it has been a great day on the water. The outboard's going. It's time to motor on to a new hole and try it again. But, gentlemen, thanks so much for being on the show today. And, folks, walleyewarriors.com, that's the website you want to go to find out more. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much.
It ain't much, but if you bail, it'll float.
Need to get away? Then head to Mardon Resort in sunny Central Washington. The fishing's awesome, wildlife is everywhere, and Mardon is the perfect place to swim, boat, and soak up the sun. When the day is done, hang out at the beach bar and grill or head to your tent, RV, hotel room, or fabulous park cottage. Call 1-800-416-2736 to book now. That's 1-800-416-2736.